resentment about it. Because we know what we were doing. And he didn't know what we know as gendarmerie officers. That has brought some conflict between us.
Did you have a problem of discipline in the forces?
It was not, I wouldn't say a problem of discipline, but a problem of principles.
What principles? Could you expand a little bit on that?
Well, as an officer, although it is said obey and complain, that's what is generally, that's what people hear, obey and complain, that's what is in the army or in the forces. But being a senior officer is a bit different because you cannot just obey and complain when you receive a perceived illegal order or a misplaced order, because you've been trained to take up your responsibilities. That's what we call intelligent bayonets. Like I said, a knife with two sharps. You take your responsibility at one point. If it is good, you are rewarded. If you made a mistake on taking the wrong way, you are punished. It's the same thing when we take reference of the Nuremberg trial. People were saying that they received orders to do during Hitler time and so on. That didn't stop them from being punished, and they were obeying orders.
I understand that perfectly well. It's the tussle between law and morality in one breath. But back to the problems you had with Mr. Ndaunjai, with Pasala Jany, excuse me, I erred in that. Was it really a question of junior officers accepting the command that was coming from their immediate superiors?
It was not refusing the command. It is what the orders entailed. It was, well, the procedures were different, as I said. In the gendarmerie and the army, the procedures are different. And he didn't know the gendarmerie procedure. He was not trained as a gendarmerie officer. Obviously, he will not know exactly how things work. That was the main problem. We were officers on the ground. We know how things work.
But as an officer in the gendarmerie at the time, were you known for any particular characteristics?
Yes.
Tell us, please.
I was known to be myself. That I will not take anything that is not, I don't believe in it. As I said, I have this principle of the intelligent bagginers. That is, I take my responsibilities, especially when it is an oral order.
Would you say you were also known for being stubborn?
People may take it like that.
But what do you think?
Tommy is a principled person.
But you would also agree that by being that principled, you are also stubborn.
Well, it depends on the definitions, you know. Everyone has his own concept.
I wanted you to judge it by your own concept and your own view of things. Would you say you are stubborn?
I may say yes.
And you had problems with your commanding officer, and he recommended that you be demoted from lieutenant to second lieutenant. How did you handle that?
Well, I handled it professionally.
Tell us what you did.
Well, I wrote a petition to the Ministry of Defense, to the Minister of Defense, who was then the president, through the Permanent Secretary of Defense, for my case to be reviewed. And it happened that there was no basis for my demotion, because there was nothing that can be quoted for my demotion from the Armed Forces Act. Maybe they wanted to cut me down, as maybe I was stubborn. They wanted to show me the stick.
What would eventually happen to your petition?
My petition was accepted. I was reinstated as a lieutenant and paid all my back pay.
Would you subsequently rise in rank?
Yes, after my training in Turkey, I rose in rank to a captain.
As at the time the Senate, by 1994, what rank did you have?
I was having the captain rank, but being in the police, the captain rank was equivalent to superintendent of police.
Can you tell us how the gendarmerie morphed into the police?
Well, in '93, when the amalgamation took place, that's the amalgamation between the police and the army, few gendarmerie officers went to the army, and the majority of the gendarmerie officers remained with the police, and the gendarmerie was turned to be the tactical support group of the police. They remain almost intact, but the name changed from gendarmerie to tactical support group.
You indicated that a few gendarmerie officers would move into the army. Could you tell us who these people were?
Well, we have Yaya Jame, Sadibu Haidara, Sergeant Jase, almost the whole military police unit went to the army.
Which Yaya Jame are you referring to?
The former president.
Can you tell us how you came to know Yaya Jame?
Well, when I returned back from Morocco on course in 1984, then what we call the 12-12 batch, the Yaya Jame's batch, and Bajo and others, they were on professional training. Then I was I was an instructor at the training school on tactics and peacekeeping. I came to know him through there. When they passed out, and it meant that I was the commander of the mobile gendarmerie, he was my clerk, company clerk. Then he was very close to me. Because being my company clerk, we are almost 18 hours together. Because even to pick my lunch from Bakau to the barracks, he used to do it. And we used to brew attire and clean my boots.
And run your errands.
Yes.
Tell us how he was as a junior officer in the army. Gendarmerie, excuse me.
Well, he was we call it strong-headed, and I will use the word that
Could you go again, please?
he was very strong-headed, and I will use the word stubborn.
Like you?
Yeah, maybe that's why we could cope.
Did he have problems with discipline?
Well, he has some problem with discipline with certain officers, but never with me.
Was he the officer who would readily accept orders from superiors?
Uh, Depending on the officer giving the orders.
What is the rule in the army? Microphone, please. What is the rule in the army? You obey lawful orders from your superiors, isn't it?
Yes, you obey lawful orders from your superiors.
Would Yaya Jammeh do that?
Well, he has some problems with it. He has some problems with certain officers.
Was it really a problem with certain officers, or was it a general attitude of not respecting orders from above?
He do respect orders from, as I said, from, he has a perception which is a bit different from orders. Because he was termed a little bit rude, and as you said, he was not that inclined on receiving orders.
He was indisciplined.
Yes.
Tell us more about the relationship you had with him.
Well, as I said, I used to spend with him more than the normal 8, 9 hours that is allocated for work. As I said, even after work, we used to be together, he brews my attire, and then cleaning my boots and so on. And we have this relationship between Jola and Fullers. We have all these things, and we are a bit close because part of his family in Bakau, the Jamekunda family, and my family, we were very intimate, related.
Microphone, please. Did you call each other names?
Yes, I used to call him my son.
Would he also call you his son?
He does. Sometimes he call me son. It's just as I said, between Jola and Fullers.
And you were his superior officer by far. He had no problems calling you son.
No, but if he's doing that, if he's calling me son, it will not be in public. I can do it in public, but he cannot do it, he doesn't do it to me in public.
And Yaya Jammeh went to the army together with military police and Sadibu Haidara. You became police officers, and and TSG, Tactical Support Group. Where were you based as a member of the Tactical Support Group?
Well, the main barracks of the Tactical Support Group was Fajara Barracks.
But during this period, what responsibilities did you have within the Tactical Support Group?
Well, after the amalgamation in July, I was posted in Yundum as commanding officer of Western Division up to December 1993. I was reposted to the Fajara Barracks January 2nd, 1994 as operations officer.
Tell us about your time at Yundum. as commanding officer for Western Division?
Well, during that time, I was responsible Katong, the whole of Western Division. So there was an incident in Pirang about fare increase with the drivers and so on. It was a long protracted tussle. The, the commander of Western Division was involved. Then it was Jain. At one point, the DIG, who was Kapi Juf, got involved. Even Press, who became the Inspector General of Police, got involved. So one day, the people of Perang, they blocked the road, and I instructed my OC to arrest the ringleaders, which he did and brought them to Brikama police station. Okay. Then within Pirang itself, within that constituency, there was a problem between the PPP itself. Because there was a young guy, a rising star from the PPP, he was called Keba Toure. And the representative of the PPP then was Kutijabang, who was then the Minister of Interior. He was away. That Keba Toure came to the station and negotiated for the bail of those arrested. Bail was granted. At the return of the minister from his travel, he felt, that's my own perspective, he felt that the young man has some points in his absence, getting those people released. And unfortunately for them, they called me on quarter deck. Myself, my SO, DIG Kapijuf and Press Jan at the minister's office in Dobson Street.
And this minister, you said he was Kiti Jabang, Minister of Interior.
Yes.
He would at that time be responsible for the police, would he not?
Yes.
What happened when you went to Quarterdeck?
When I went to quarterdeck, first I was just to go and answer the minister. But when I knew why I went there, I asked first my SO to get out of the room. He was not supposed to be there as long as I am there. Because I am the one who gave him orders and he obeys my orders. Then the minister started talking his political thing here and there, all those things. At the end of the day, Kapi wanted to answer. I told him, Kapi, no, I'm sorry, sir, you shouldn't answer. I will answer because I'm the one who is called. Press wanted to say something. I told him, no, sir, you have nothing to say because you brought me here. If you wanted to tell me something, wanted to say something, you arrange it with the minister, then you call me quarterdeck at your office. Because as long as I am present, I am the one to talk. And I told the minister clearly that what he's saying, I didn't agree with it. That I'm a professional. The ranks that I have, we are not political. I'm a professional. I was trained, and I reminded him a problem that he had in Morocco in 1984 during the Islamic conference about me. Because when I was in Morocco on course from September to February, I didn't receive any allowances. Then he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs then, and it was on his preview. I used then the colonel who was the military attaché at the Senegalese embassy, who was the commanding officer of the restoring the Senegalese troop when they entered the Gambia during the 1981 rebellion. I used him to get access to President Jawara to know my problems. And Kuti was not happy about it. He felt that, well, I backstabbed him. But I was doing what I am supposed to do to get my money.
Would you, microphone please, microphone. Would you say that you had a good relationship with him, Kuti Jabang?
I have no relation with him because he's a minister, I'm a police officer. I'm not under his command, I'm under the command of the IG. If he needs something, let him talk to the IG. He doesn't need to talk to me.
Did you have good views about the PPP government at the time?
Well, my views were neutral as everybody because we all, by then, there was a perception of corruption. And when Teku Sabali and the Touch newspaper, when they went to court and all those things, then as Minister of Agriculture, he was later promoted to Vice President. You know, all those things. We are all human beings.
Did you share that perception that the PPP government was corrupt?
Of course I do.
And in 1994,
if you don't mind, Deputy has a point to make. Please go ahead.
I just want a clarification on the names. Are we talking about Kuti Sanyang or are we talking about Kiti Jaba? Because I seem to get some.
Okay. The one who was Minister of Foreign Affairs, then Minister of Interior. Okay. Then that's, yeah.
Its full name is Landing Kiti Jabang. Lamin Kiti Jabang, and the other is Landing Kuti Sanyang.
Okay. My bad.
Proceed.
Please proceed, Counsel. Thank you.
By 1994, you were operations commander at the TSG at Fajara Barracks. That's what you said, right?
Correct.
What were your responsibilities at the time?
My responsibility